Hello, friends. Welcome to yet another episode of Tea Talk with me, Owen Fernandez. I wish you a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. Today is the 23rd of November 2021, and the latest situation in my country is that we are almost going down again the same path for a lockdown. The neighboring country in Australia has already declared from yesterday a 3 week complete lockdown. In fact, this time we are going to have a totally different Christmas in Europe, at least in my country where I'm based in Central Europe, Slovakia. We will not be having any Christmas markets in any part of the city, or for that matter, in any part of this country. Friends, I have been here for 24 years. There hasn't been a time like this where in which Christmas in Europe, which is such a romantic period, especially when the snow falls and all that stuff. So this year, it's going to be a total different year. I need to be prepared, and thus I have decided to pick up a topic for today, episode number 59, how to become more resilient. It's not as much as physical endurance that matters when it comes to resilience, my friends. It is also about your mindset and your mental setup. Now, whether you know it or not, resilience is a part of our human nature. Friends, the human spirit is extremely resilient. In fact, research shows that resilient people think differently. They have a set of skills, sometimes learned, sometimes innate, that allow them to persist, to persevere, to manage various levels of stress and triumph in the face of challenges. So, if you have survived this COVID onslaught when it first began in November 2019, I'm sure you are resilient. Friends, resilient people tap into their strengths and their support systems to overcome challenges, and they work through problems, and almost all of them come out stronger. So, in this episode, I will share with you what is resilience, why does it matter, where do you get it from, and 8 simple steps to become more resilient, which means to say that resilience is developed and may not necessarily be a born trait. And as a bonus today, friends, also I will be sharing my new book, Navigating Difficult Times, so very close to this topic of resilience, and which is going to come out on the 13th of December. I'm going to share just a few things about that book. So, friends, if you're on this call, grab a cup of tea or coffee, take a comfortable seat, and relax as we go deeper into this topic. Episode number 59, 29th of November, How to Become More Resilient. And if you are on this call for the very first time, please free please feel free to let us know from where you are watching. And if possible, do come over to the chat box and connect with me as I stream live from Central Europe. So let's get started. I see a good friend of mine, Kishore Kotian, a childhood friend of mine in now in Dubai. Okay, he's watching us for the first time, I guess. And as usual, I have got Peter Bordaj. He says, Owen, the situation is not looking good, but we will get it together. We'll go through it together in unity. Absolutely correct, Peter. So, friends, let's get into this topic. Now, as usual, I like to share and I like to start with a famous quote, and this time you must have by now recognized this face. It's Margaret Thatcher. She said, "You may have to fight a battle more than once to win it." You may have to fight so many personal battles in your life, in my life, more than once to win it. Margaret Thatcher was the first woman to become the British Prime Minister. She was often called the Iron Lady, and in fact, she was very much pleased to hear when she was given a nickname by a Russian newspaper. She served as Britain's first female prime minister from 1979 to 1990, a good 11 years. Her confidence, her resilience, and her uncompromising leadership style led her to reshape almost every aspect of British politics, from foreign policy to domestic economy. In fact, friends, when she became the prime minister, many people in Britain wondered whether a woman would be strong enough to do this, which was considered a very difficult job for a woman. But as all of us know, she showed them the answer to that question was a very strong yes. And thus, when women become leaders of countries, they are often compared to this Iron Lady called Margaret Thatcher, even when they are totally really different. So, my question today is, what is resilience? Resilience. Is there a definition that can capture the word and its meaning? In fact, the dictionary talks about it as a capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. When you talk about giving it a dimension from the science point of view, pictorically, just imagine it's the ability of a substance or an object to spring back into shape, which means to say there has to be some elasticity in its nature. Friends, psychological resilience is the ability to mentally or emotionally cope with a crisis or to return to pre crisis status quickly. So, thus, we are not new, though some of you may have heard this so very often in this current times. Friends, resilience can be seen in a little kid growing up. In a little kid growing up. Just imagine somebody tumbling down or falling down from a cliff or a mountain or maybe during skiing or for that matter even climbing a wall, skidding, falling down, but still getting up and trying to do that all over again. Or for that matter, there are people who fail examinations, who fail interviews, who fail getting through the first time, but they continuously and persistently work and finally get over it. So, the characteristics of resilient people can be seen across all cultures and all age groups. In fact, there are multiple types of resilience that one can grow and enhance: emotional resilience, physical resilience, social resilience, mental resilience, community resilience, spiritual resilience. So the question is that, are you born with resilience? The answer to that is, in fact, the truth is that people are not born resilient. It is a trait that you develop through experiences as you grow, sorry, in life. So each individual can build up their own resiliency in their everyday lives, over their career, and over their lifespan. It can be learned, it can be acquired, it can be sharpened through conscious awareness and decision making. And in fact, through practice, you can reap the benefits of being resilient as life comes in the way. So, the next question is, why does it matter? Friends, resilience is important because it gives people the strength needed to process and overcome hardships. Life is never going to be easy. Life will throw up many challenges, many obstacles, many impediments when you least expect it. And then those lacking resilience get easily overwhelmed and may turn to unhealthy coping mechanisms. Some might get depressed, some might consider even suicide. Resilient people tap into their strengths, as I said before, and their support systems to overcome challenges and work through problems. In fact, it has got many health benefits as well. It is associated with longer lifespans, it is associated with lower rates of depression, and above all, resilient people have got this immense, what you call, feeling of winning over tough situations, and that self gives them a greater satisfaction in life. So, where do you get your resilience from? Definitely, it's not a born trait. Now, if you look at this particular chart, okay, it's basically a survey response from 835 British employees. So, of course, this target population is not general across all cultures all around the globe, but nevertheless, it does show the sources from where you get your resilience from. So, when these 835 British employees were asked their reserves of resilience, 90% said that it came from themselves, within themselves. A little over 50% said from relationships, and barely 10% said from my organization. So, while organizations are talking about building resilience in their employees and so on and so forth, it all starts with you. As I said, I'm sure that this research cannot be generalized across cultures and across nations, but it does show where one can get or develop resilience from yourself, from the work that you do, from your organization, or from the relationships that you have. So, friends, let's get into the 8 steps to become more resilient. Friends, as I said before, resiliency can be learned, it can be acquired, it can be honed through conscious decisions, through conscious awareness, and of course, practice. So, the first step to become more resilient is learn to accept change. Learn to accept change. Friends, we all know change is inevitable. Change, in fact, is a natural and constant part of our life, especially in such a fast paced world that we live in today. Everything changes so quickly. And in fact, not only everything changes, sometimes the change creates a change in us and around us. So that means to say that we change as well. And that's what we call flexibility, adaptability. Friends, the problem is many of us resist and reject it. And here I am asking you, if you want to get resilient or if you want to develop resiliency, accept change. Now, I do understand change can be scary and difficult. But if you look at it, change is often a good thing and can be so worth it. While not all change feels good, I do get it. But if we can handle it and look at it in the right perspective with growth mindset, the outcomes can definitely be good when we accept change. Now, what does accepting change mean? Accepting change means that when you go through a tough situation or an obstacle or certain change in your life that challenges your mind and your emotions, you choose to embrace the change as a learning opportunity. Friends, every adversity provides us with an opportunity to learn. It's only the mindset that comes into the picture here. Once you do that, once you know that adversities provides us an opportunity to learn, you will find that you are able to develop resiliency from within in so many different ways. In fact, you evolve as a person. You become tough as you take the experience ahead with you. Change can help you transform and have breakthroughs. We all seeing it right now as we fight COVID. There are so many new things that are happening. You never know what can become and what can happen until you do. The possibilities with change then becomes endless. And resilient people often utilize these events as an opportunity to branch out in new directions. While some people may be crushed, devastated by abrupt changes, highly resilient individuals or people are able to adapt, and some even thrive. Learn to accept change. Now, the second step that I would like to share with you is that learn continuously. It's just not that you learn only through adversity. Learning is lifelong. As long as you learn, life becomes more interesting. You become more available, just in case if you are trying to mentor or becoming, a role model to your children or to your community. Learn new skills, gain new understanding, and apply them in times of change. As I said before, resilience is more of a mindset than a test of just physical endurance. Ask yourself, are you growth oriented? Are you open to learning? Are you observant to see what is it that you face on a day to day basis? And how is it that you can learn and get better and learn continuously? So accept change, learn continuously, have a growth mindset, have a learning, what you call orientation. And the third step that I would like to share out here is own responsibility. Take charge, be proactive, take action. In fact, take responsibility for your own life, for your own career, and for your own self development. Simply waiting for a problem to go away on its own only prolongs the crisis. Instead, start working on resolving the issue immediately. Now, while they may not be any fast or simple solution, you can always take steps towards making your situation better and less stressful. In fact, it becomes a matter of choice and, of course, a matter of decision. Focus on the progress that you have made thus far and then plan your next steps rather than becoming discouraged by the amount of work that still needs to be accomplished. Yeah, take responsibility of living in the present. Take responsibility of controlling what you can control. Actively working on solutions will also help you to feel more in control. So rather than just waiting for things to happen, take a step of faith, fight your fears, be proactive, which will allow you to help your goals become a reality. The fourth step that I would like to share with you concerning developing resilience is give meaning to life. Friends, life has got no meaning unless you give meaning to it. In other words, discover your purpose. Find a sense of purpose in your daily existence. In the face of crisis or tragedy, or in the case of huge obstacles, finding a sense of purpose can play an important role in your recovery. That itself is a mechanism. Now, this might mean becoming involved in your community, cultivating your spirituality or developing certain things that you have not done before, or participating in activities that are meaningful to you. In fact, I would encourage you to look at life, to live for a cause higher than you, and you will have a sense of purpose and a sense of direction. Give meaning to life. Make sure that you have a sense of purpose. The other set of steps that I would like you to know when it comes to building resiliency is adversities gives us an opportunity to discover who we are and not necessarily what we do. So discover yourself. You are unique. You are having tremendous potential. Friends, on a personal front, I repeat, on a personal front, I have experienced quite a few intense, tough times over my life. And there's nothing great about it, just like everyone else goes through. In fact, one such time is featured in my book, which I'm going to show you later on in this program. And as I see and as I read this book over and over again, okay, in my case, coming out of it required drawing from the wells of my character and values rather than any intelligence or acquired skill. It took me on a journey to know who I am, what can I do, how do I react to emotions, how do I respond using rational thinking. It showcased who I was within at that point in time rather than what I could do from the outside. I knew myself like never before. So, in fact, resilience helps you to find out how strong or how weak you are. It shows your ability to confront reality, to be aware of your emotions, and your spirit to fight adversities. So if you are working, know that what you do is not who you are. You have an identity apart from your job designation. So if you want to go and develop resilience, take a deep dive inside yourself and discover yourself. Another important step that I would like to share with you today when it comes to developing resilience is nurture relationships. Develop and nurture a broad network of personal and professional relationships. You may ask me why. It is important to have people you can confide in. As I said before in many of my previous episodes, that we are social beings by nature. So, having caring, supportive people around you acts as a protective shield during times of crisis. Simply talking about a situation with a friend or a loved one definitely won't make the troubles vanish or go away, but it allows you to share your feelings, to pour out, to get support, receive some positive feedback, or for that matter, some solutions that never came into your mind. And thus, you could end your problem. So, friends, I would suggest that you develop a strong social network. I've got a good friend of mine from Africa, Gebenga. Okay, nice to see you, my friend. It's a long, long time. Okay, I hope we connect soon. Thank you for being on the call. Friends, know and develop relationships, nurture them. Another step that I would like to share with you is reflect and journal. As I said, life is never going to be easy. You're going to come across various situations as you grow from a little born baby to a full fledged adult, or for that matter, to an old man or an old woman. There are so many things that you can capture. Why? Because, as I said, the human spirit is extremely resilient. You have had so many victories in your past. Reflect and journal. So, you may ask me, how does reflection build resilience? A good question. Friends, a great way to promote your own resilience is to reflect on your life and the experiences you have faced and to journal about them. Reflection fosters learning. In fact, new perspectives and self awareness increases manifold. And you and I know self awareness is essential because it helps you to see yourself clearly and thoroughly, who the authentic Owen is. When you are self aware, you are able to keep yourself more accountable for your action because you can see yourself in real light. Reflect. With self awareness, you are set up more for success in your personal development as well. So, the self reflective process is proposed to strengthen a person's resilience by developing insight into their already present capacities. In fact, you will understand and know why things worked, why did not why it did not work in your favor. Then it comes to journaling. It's so very important. Journaling is shown to help you process your experiences and grow from them. Write it down. Note it down in some form or the other. So when you can look back on the obstacles you have faced, you can take credit and appreciate the fact that you have come so far. In fact, you will not only feel a sense of accomplishment, but also a sense of confidence in yourself and your ability to overcome and succeed. And once you do that, you can always share with those that need to hear stories of overcoming. And the final step I would like to share is skill shift. Now, what does it mean? As I said, adversities gives you an opportunity to change, to adapt, to become flexible, and to evolve. It helps reframe how you see your skills, your talent, and your interest in a challenging situation. Now, when you're talking about skill shift, it may not necessarily mean reskilling. It could be that you're finding something totally different that you have never thought about it before. But when it comes to reskilling, a Deloitte report that goes by the name of Beyond Reskilling, Investing in Resilience for Uncertain Future, the authors mention that reskilling alone may not be a strategic dead end. Renewing workers' skill, they say, is a tactical necessity, but reskilling is not a sufficient path forward by itself. The skill shortage is too great, the investments are too small. They say the pace of change is too rapid, quickly rendering even successful reskilling efforts obsolete. What is needed, they say, is a worker development approach that considers both the dynamic nature of the work done and the equally dynamic potential of people to reinvent themselves. Now, a case in point is this. I never thought in my wildest dream that there would be a time where I would do certain programs online like I'm doing right now. I'm a total people person. And the trainings and the workshops and the boot camps and the leadership development programs that I do it and I love to do it in a setting in which I interact with people physically. I can see their verbal and non-verbal languages. I can talk to them. I can discuss with them. I can have lunch or dinner, if at all it's a 2 day program or something of that sort. I can share. And that experience is totally, totally different. But life turned around because of COVID, and we are now mostly comfortable working from home in an online mode. So the report from Deloitte says that organizations should focus on building workers' resilience for both the short and the long term. A focus that can allow organizations to increase their own resilience in the face of constant change. So accept change, have a growth mindset of learning continuously, take action, take responsibility, take charge, give meaning to life, find a sense of purpose, discover yourself more within, nurture strong relationships, reflect and journal from past experiences in order to help others, and finally, a skill shift. Friends, I would like to introduce my second book, Navigating Difficult Times, which is a compilation of stories from 11 individuals scattered all across the globe, and they are sharing one difficult phase in their lives among many others, where they found out that they are more resilient than they actually knew about themselves. So these stories are stories of immense discomfort, immense trial, very difficult situations and obstacles. Yet, each of these people that you are seeing on the screen right now have been victorious and have come stronger on the other side. So, 11 chapters dedicated to 11 individuals spread across different cultures, all across the globe, from Canada to Australia, from Ghana to Singapore. And in the final chapter in this book, I've asked certain psychologists to just find out that was there any commonality among these various stories for all of that to be victorious. So it's a great read. It's going to be, it's going to come into this world on the 13th of December. Right now, I think so. Maybe next week, next Monday, it will be open for pre-launch bookings, and I've decided to give 10% of the earnings of this book to a missionary organization led by a very good couple friends of mine, Arlene and Jean Rumley from the US, who have been doing great work in India, taking children from the street, especially girls, orphans, and giving them a home and a future. So it is for a good cause, navigating difficult times. It's going to be available on Amazon. It's going to be available on Barnes and Noble, and it's also going to be available on Apple iBooks. So, friends, as I wind up this particular episode, I asked a question to one of the contributors to my book, which happens to be a good friend of mine living in the same country that I live, by the name of Zuzana Klemikova, that are there any easy, ready, and understandable materials on developing resilience when you are faced with a lot of challenges? She recommends the following books for further reading: Raising Resilient Children by Robert Brooks and Sam Goldstein, The Optimistic Child by Martin Seligman, Grit by Angela Duckworth, and The Resilience Factor by Karen Rievich. Friends, we all need to train our impulse control and resilience. And finally, I end up with a quote of promise from Steve Maraboli, who says in his book, Life, the Truth, and Being Free, life doesn't get easier or more forgiving. Life doesn't get easier or more forgiving. We get stronger and more resilient. Friends, thanks for watching. You will find the references of what has been shared at the end of this talk. Feel free to use them further for your personal growth and development. And on a separate note, which I have never done before, I open myself to take any call from you. You're free to contact me for no obligation. Just write to me, connect with me at owen@owenfernandez.com, and I would be more than happy to give 30 minutes of my time to support you, to help you, to assist you, to mentor you, to guide you in the capacity of a life coach and a psychometric analyst. And also, friends, if you like this episode, please comment and share. Also, you could go to my YouTube channel, where The previous 58 episodes are all lined up for your viewing. And if you like it, share and subscribe to it. There you will find this video in a very short while from now, as well as many other videos. Remember, friends, the win is always within you. I, Owen Fernandez, am here to help you be victorious. I believe in you, and together we can. So stay safe. See you on the next episode on Tea Time with me, Owen. Bye for now.